Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Master of Mayhem, Craig Charles.
Hey, tonight, it's all coming down. The last chance for our robots to do what they do best. Fight. All out, no holds barred, extreme action all the way. They're up for it. I'm up for it. Are you guys up for it? Then let's make this a night to remember in your nightmares. Because tonight, it's our All-Stars Grand Final! And as tournaments go, they don't come much more brutal.
Craig, plenty of battles leading up to our All-Star Final. Our Vengeance, Crunch, Thermidor and Napalm. That's a grudge match. Followed by the Challenge Belt. Can Tornado hold on to it under the challenge of Pussycat? Then we've got a nest of ants. Pants, Little Nipper, Anti-B, Combat Ant, Legion, Razzler and Anto. All together in a melee. The UK against Germany. Hypnotist for the UK. Nasty Warrior for the Germans. And our main event, it is the All-Stars Final, the best of the best, Razor against Tornado. And the road to our All-Star Final started with Chaos beating Exterminator in the first of our All-Star qualifiers. The reigning British champions have become early favourites. Dietor were next up against Wheelie Big Cheese. The cheese grated, the fur flew, and the Irish boys were sent back to Dublin in double-quick time. Next, a surprise, as Panic Attack was lifted and slammed by Firestorm. As the crowd called out for more, another shot. The mighty Behemoth blunted the whirling dervish that is Hypnotist to make it into the quarterfinals. Wild Thing had too much movement, guile and design for Dominator too, whose axe didn't cause enough damage, I'm afraid. Now we had Tornado taking giant strides against 3 stakes to heaven. The pushability factor very high. Now Gemini can cause double trouble, but not against the claw of Razor. Once that gets hold of you, it can turn out to be a crushing victory. Into the quarterfinals, and Chaos 2 showed why its British champion, Wheelie Big Cheese, became flipped, whipped, fondue. Would George Francis win this competition as well with the Chaos? Firestorm on Wild Thing looked well matched on paper. The Storm on the attack though from the start, and it never finished pounding and eventually rounding things off into the pit. If that looked impressive, look at Razor's performance in the semi-final. Toying with Firestorm, strutting as the Storm flapped like a fish on a hook. Razor sharp through to the final. There to meet Chaos 2 or Tornado, and here one of the biggest shocks in Robot Wars history. The champs shoved around, bullied, sand kicked in their face. So in the All-Stars Final, it's Razor against Tornado.
So, Razor versus Tornado. And trust me, everyone wanted to get their hands on the All-Stars trophy. So expect a rumble to end all rumbles. But tell you what, news just in, Julia's got a bit of a situation in the pits.
Now, there's a rumour in the pits that Thermidor have said that Robot Wars is not a place for women. The women should be in the homes and not in the battle zone. I have to say, I totally disagree. And Napalm naturally disagree. Don't you, Vicky?
We do indeed.
How do you feel about that sexist nonsense?
And they clearly woke up in the wrong century.
So what do we want, Napalm?
Vengeance.
Too right we do. Where Where's Claire?
Claire, she's gone to have a private word with them already.
Is she that upset?
She is indeed.
I'm not surprised. Thermidor, watch out. I'm coming to have words with you. Thermidor, what's that you've been saying that Robot Wars isn't a place for women?
That's right. Girls are soft and they're nice, friendly. It's a man's game, Robot Wars.
Soft and friendly, you say?
Yeah.
You haven't met Vicky.
I can assure you we're neither soft nor nice.
We're also better drivers than you. We're better technicians.
We do more than one thing at once.
Yeah, and we don't have something else in the brain every 6 seconds.
Well, we have to prove it then.
Well, I think we shall we not, Vicky?
We will indeed.
This is one battle of the sexes that will have to be sorted out in the war zone.
From Costassy, Norwich, Norfolk, Thermidor 2.
Very impressive in Extreme so far with the powerful pneumatic flipper and the claws. Watch out, though, for that fragile shell.
We're Team Lobster. My name's Dave. This is Ian. This is our robot Thermidor 2. We're angry. We're ready for a fight. Keep out of our way.
From New Ash Green, Napalm.
Teenagers Vicky Allgood, Claire Greenaway and teacher David Crosby, a James Bond fan, have this heavily armoured napalm machine, but it's unreliable, you know.
Good evening from Dave, Claire and Vicky, and Napalm back for another war.
In the war zone for us, the weapon synergy of dead metal, heavy at 112 kilos. Slightly lighter, but no less deadly, Matilda.
Roboteers, stand by.
David and Vicky fighting for women's honour. Napalm against Thermidor, who believe the Napalm team should be back in the kitchen. A broiling lobster, perhaps. And it's the lobster at this moment in time, reaching boiling point. Thermidor with David Harding and Ian Harvey. Look at this. Slam, bam, and thank you, ma'am. Napalm, can they come back from that? David's at the controls. Vicky seems to love it. They do. But what about Napalm? What's in the air? Comes crumpling down. Built on an old pram frame, it looks like, with the two fangs at the back, and, well, very little else, really, at this moment in time. It's been crushed, pushed and slammed. It's already in tatters. It's almost in shreds. Dead metal's in there. David, you got to do something there. A James Bond feat is needed because time is ticking out. And Thermidor, their argument that you should stay in the kitchen is right. You shouldn't be in the arena. You're out of it now.
Cease.
I'm afraid all napalm is worth now. Scrap for pots and pans on that stove. Get back to the kitchen and start cooking up another machine.
Well, Napalm unceremoniously dumped out of the arena. The winners are Thermidor 2. Come on, guys.
They reckon that girls were kind of no good at building robots, and Robot Wars was no place for girls, isn't it? And I was going to say that they've gone a long way to prove it, but they haven't really, because it's his fault, really, isn't it?
It's my fault, I'm afraid.
It's your robot.
It's my robot. The girls built it, but then unfortunately Kilowog destroyed it last time. But the only reason it went out last time was we took 3 robots to destroy it.
Yeah.
But this time I built it with cable ties and sellotape.
So it's not really your fault. I think, although you won this fight, I think you've got some apologising to do, really, haven't you?
We have had time to reconsider, yes. And, they were very brave to show on. The driving was good at the start,
Yeah.
So
And Robot Wars is a place for girls, isn't it?
it is.
And
yeah.
you're sorry you said that, aren't you?
We're very sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you won the vengeance, but you still feel a little bit of humility now, don't you?
That's right.
Okay, it's been a very sobering experience for you, isn't it?
I hope we can still be friends.
Okay, let's go ballistic for Thermidor 2.
By the end of tonight, we'll have found ourselves an All-Stars Supreme Champion! Either Razor or Tornado. And the fight may be some time away, but the fight and talk's already started.